Well, welcome everyone. It's good to see you tonight. Today is Tuesday, October 17th. We are streaming this meeting live on the City of Madison YouTube channel. Hopefully if you're not here, you can view it, and then you can also view it in archive format. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I would like to ask Joel Storm to come up to the podium here. Joe was elected by the precinct committeeman of Jefferson County Republican Party to become our new 5th District City Council person. So I'm going to swear Joel in right now. And then I'll ask you to introduce yourself to the audience and people watching here. You stay right here, please. I, Joel Storm, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Indiana, that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties in the City of Madison Common Council to the best of my ability and according to the law, so help me God. Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm Joel Storm with the 5th District City Council. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. My family's been in Madison for a long time. Someone knows a Storm boy or one of them running around. It's a great honor that I get the opportunity to serve this community. I've served my country for over a decade. And I've served on the Madison Fire Department for even longer than that. So, again, thank you, and I look forward to this opportunity.
Okay, now let's begin the meeting. Welcome everybody. Thank you, Debbie. Like with all of our prior meetings, we'll begin by standing and bowing our heads and reciting the Lord's Prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll get into tonight's business. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you. Clerk, may we have a roll call, please?
Good evening, Council. Dan Datillo,
Here.
Bartlett,
Here.
Storm,
Here.
Schaefer,
Here.
Lucy Datillo,
Here.
Krebs,
Here.
and Tevenoff.
Here.
Council, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes from the October 3rd meeting? If so, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes, please.
I'll move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. First, we'd like to read a proclamation for the National Code Compliance Month. Is Dewey here? Dewey, Neil? All right. Well, I'd like to recognize Dewey, who is our City of Madison's first full-time code enforcement officer. by reading this proclamation. The City of Madison created a full-time code enforcement position in January 2022. Code enforcement officers provide for safety and welfare of the citizens throughout the United States through the enforcement of local codes and ordinances on various issues of zoning, environmental, health, and life and safety. Whereas code enforcement officers often have a challenging and demanding role and deserve recognition for the job they provide in improving living and working conditions for residents and businesses for local communities. In the first 18 months, the City of Madison's code enforcement officer has been involved in 680 cases. Whereas code enforcement officers are dedicated and highly qualified professionals who share the goals of enhancing and ensuring safety and preserving property values through knowledge and application of zoning and nuisance codes and ordinances. Code enforcement officers are called upon to provide quality customer service and excellence to the residents and businesses of the communities in which they serve, working collaboratively to eliminate blight, unsafe housing conditions, and create a clean, safe, and beautiful community. The American Association of Code Enforcement wants to recognize and honor these officers and professionals across the United States and bring awareness to the importance of code enforcement to the communities of the United States. Whereas the City of Madison would like to recognize and express our appreciation for the dedication and service by Dewey and Neal, who serves as our code enforcement officer. Signed this proclamation today, and I'll deliver this to Dewey tomorrow, and I want to thank him because he certainly has done a very good job of helping us with our mission of blight elimination and making our community as clean as it can be. All right, Joe, I'll turn it over to you for our resolutions and bills.
All right. First, we have ordinance number 2023-17, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana, amending the zoning map of the City of Madison, Indiana. Whereas there has been a recommendation made by the City of Madison Plan Commission to the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana to amend the zoning map of the City of Madison, Indiana. Whereas the Madison Plan Commission has voted to recommend to the Council of the City of Madison, Indiana, that the zoning of the following described property be changed from general business to medium-density residential, or also known as R8. And that would be the property at 417 State Street. Whereas it is in the best interest of the City of Madison, Indiana, and its citizens that the zoning map be amended accordingly, and whereas the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana concurs with the recommendations submitted to it by the Plan Commission. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana, that Section 1 of the City of Madison zoning map be amended so that the zoning for the following described real property be changed from general business to medium-density residential. And that's at 417 State Street. And this ordinance shall be in full force and effect and from and after its date. The next ordinance on first reading is ordinance number 2023-18, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana, establishing the Bethany Legacy Foundation Donation Control Fund. Whereas the Bethany Legacy Foundation, a nonprofit health foundation, is dedicated to the health and wellness of Jefferson County residents, and whereas the Bethany Legacy Foundation will be making restricted donations for various health-related initiatives within the City of Madison. And whereas the City of Madison wishes to establish a fund to deposit monies donated from the Bethany Legacy Foundation to the City of Madison initiatives. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana, as follows. A controlled fund is established to deposit monies donated from the Bethany Legacy Foundation, and the monies will come as restricted donations for a specified purpose through an agreement for each donation, which will specify the accepted use of funds. The fund shall be named the Bethany Legacy Foundation Donation Control Fund. All funds contained in the account shall be expended only for the exclusive purposes detailed in each restricted donation agreement. The Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana will review each donation agreement prior to accepting the funds, and no further appropriation is required. The express and written approval of the Board of Public Works and Safety shall be obtained prior to the expenditure of the funds from the account. And for each type of restricted donation, separate individual accounts shall be monitored to reflect receipts, disbursements, and current balances. The fund shall be non-reverting and exist perpetually unless terminated by a subsequent ordinance enacted by the Common Council. If the fund is terminated by a subsequent ordinance enacted by the Common Council, the remaining balance shall be terminated and shall revert to the general budget of the Common Council. The foregoing ordinance was passed and adopted by the Common Council at its regular meeting held on the 21st day of November 2023.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Moving on, I'd like to invite Deputy Mayor McGee here to give a report relative to the Bethany Legacy donation agreements. Council, there was nothing on the agenda, but are there any reports of any standing select committees from council? Okay.
Good evening, Council. This is in relationship to the first reading of the fund that Mr. Jenner just read. So I'll just give you a background on a little bit of both, actually, while we're doing this, if that's okay. We're setting up a control fund for the monies that Bethany Legacy Foundation donates to the city of Madison. They've very generously, as you know, supported several initiatives already with their funds, but they do come with restrictions. They are to be used for a specific purpose. So, as you know, with a state and federal grant, we have to set up individual funds for those grant dollars, can't be commingled with other funds. But because these are local dollars, we can put the money in one fund, but they also have restrictions. So we will set up the fund, we'll put revenue lines and expense lines in place for each project, and that way we can track how those funds are spent. We can report that back to Bethany, but still only have one fund set up to deposit all those monies into. So that's the history of that fund a little bit. For right now, the three agreements, the restricted agreements that Bethany has in place with us, you have before you. I think you're aware of all of them so far. The other issue with the control fund is once council approves the agreements of the donated funds, it doesn't need further appropriation. That is appropriating the dollars for that purpose, which will save a step, and we can always track it through the fund. So just real quickly, even though I know you're aware of, if not all of these, some of them, just to remind you of what agreements we already are working on with Bethany. The first one is for the Parks Department, and that is for studies for Brown Gym, Sunrise Golf Course, and the Rucker Sports Complex for and it's listed in here, $126,000 for the sports complex. That's schematic design, cost estimating for the Brown Gym, which is $13,000, and schematic design through construction documents for the golf course for changes that might take place up there, and then $47.50 for the sports complex for schematic design for work that's going to get done. So the total on that one is $126,000, basically for design work and planning. And sorry, I think my pages are out of order. Yeah, I did went out of order. I apologize. The first one is for the I believe it is for the pool project. Apologize. Yes, it is for the Crystal Beach Aquatic Park. That was the $2 million donation. And then $250,000 of that is dedicated to supporting programming activities for access to the pool for low-income families. So that one I believe you're well aware of because we talked about that at the time of the funding for the pool project. And the last one is for our police department. And that would go to cover mental health services, $100,000 over 3 years, which would provide counseling services for our public safety officers. And again, I think we've talked about this, but it would be mandatory once a year. It would be mandatory if there's a serious incident, a bad traffic accident or a shooting death, something like that. And then it would be available on a voluntary basis for them and their family for general counseling, completely private. So those are the three things that they have agreed to support. Right now, those are the limitations in place. So What I would need is for council to approve these three agreements and let them be executed by the clerk treasurer and to get them in place, and then we can receive the funds, put them in this fund once it's established.
I move we approve the 3 Bethany Legacy Foundation grant agreements as presented by Deputy Mayor McGee.
I second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
Now we have several bills on third reading. The first 3 are dealing with the budget. And Councilman Storm, I was not totally for sure you were being, but you probably,
Are you still active with the threes?
are you still an active firefighter?
Yes.
Okay. You should abstain. I know there was a law that did not allow firefighters to vote on budgets. I know there was some talk about trying to get that repealed, but I still think it is in place. So just abstain. Okay, so the next order of business is ordinance number 2023-13, the notice of appropriations and tax rates, and basically the budget for 2024. So if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Dan DiTillo,
Yes.
Bartlett,
Yes.
Schaefer,
Yes.
Lucy DiTillo,
Yes.
Krebs,
Yes.
and Tevenant.
Yes.
Next bill on third reading is ordinance number 2023-14, and that's an ordinance fixing compensation of elected officials for the city of Madison, Indiana for the year 2024. Roll call, please.
Dan DiTillo,
Yes.
Bartlett,
Yes.
I'd go ahead and just have him abstain. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Schaefer,
Yes.
Lucy DiTillo,
Yes.
Krebs,
Yes.
Tevenant,
Yes.
And ordinance number 2023-15, an ordinance fixing salaries of appointed officers and employees of the city of Madison for the year 2024.
Dan DiTillo,
Yes.
Bartlett?
Yes.
Schaefer,
Yes.
Lucy DiTillo,
Yes.
Krebs,
Yes.
and Tevenant.
Yes.
Okay. And the last bill on third reading is ordinance number 2023-16, an ordinance of the Common Council of the City of Madison, Indiana, amending the zoning map of the City of Madison, Indiana.
Dan DiTillo,
Yes.
Bartlett,
Yes.
Storm,
Yes.
Schaefer,
Yes.
Lucy DiTillo,
Yes.
Krebs,
Yes.
and Tevenant.
Yes.
We have no bills on second reading, so we can move on to the remainder.
All right, well, we dispensed of the business pretty quickly. Thank you, council. There's no miscellaneous items to address tonight. Now we have a public comment period. If there's anybody here who would like to address the mayor's office and city council, feel free to come to the podium. Make your statement. Please identify yourself, name and address, and what your comments are, please.
Rick Berry, 511 Brentwood Drive. Good evening, council. How y'all doing? I'm used to sitting up there. Recently, I believe the Democrat Party made a FOIA request for financial records from the administration, and a response was given to them. I think an official form was sent to them, I believe, John, and they said once that they filled that out, that, they could come up with the answer. But in the letter to Mr. Hutchinson, there's one part that says, and I tell you what, it's hard for me to read because it's not, it says, as an excuse as to why this stuff cannot be provided at this time. When the previous clerk treasurer's staff walked out without notice on March 8th, 2022, files, documents, and emails were destroyed and or deleted in our computer systems or shredded. So, my question tonight, and this is Clerk Treasurer Rampy's answer, my question to Clerk Treasurer Rampy would be, what are these documents that were shredded or deleted or destroyed?
Well, that's the problem when somebody deletes something, Rick. You can't tell what's missing. So, yes, all of the emails were deleted. Yours were deleted. Several of the clerks were deleted.
I can't speak for the ladies in my office, but I will tell you.
One was systematically deleted that could not be recovered.
What could be deleted in an email that would prevent you from being able to provide financial reports?
All of the documents
No.
were gone.
No. I deleted all my emails just because I've got fraternity brothers that email me and say crazy stuff, and I thought I'll get that off there. But there's nothing on my email, and none of my that would prevent, none of that kind of information would be in emails that would prevent you from being able to come up with financial
Mr.
reports.
Berry, those records are public records. If you had things that you were using for your personal on a public record site, that's your problem.
Well, if you
Those
can
records
hire
should not have been
people.
deleted.
You can hire people. You've cut me off enough, Mayor. You're not cutting me off tonight. You can hire people to retrieve those old emails if it's so important, and I welcome you to do that. I welcome you to hire a company and go back and retrieve my emails. You'll see some funny things from some fraternity brothers of mine that I didn't want you to see. They get kind of vulgar sometimes, but I would welcome you to do that. Now, let me ask you this question. If these deleted items are so important that you can't give financial reports, did you contact the State Board of Accounts that these items were missing?
Actually, yes, we did.
Who did you contact?
Wes Ritchie.
Okay, I contacted the State Board of Accounts today, the lead guy. I told him I wouldn't use his name at the meeting. He didn't really tell me not to. I can provide that name after the meeting. He told me in all of their audits, there have not been any documents missing that they could find, and he doesn't know why you would accuse my staff of shredding and deleting documents.
Because they did.
What proof do you have of that, Katie?
They deleted the emails and they were recovered. We recovered because two of them didn't do it to the last day.
What did you recover?
Recovered your emails as well. All of your emails, all of Lacey's. The only ones we could not recover was Tammy.
So what has prevented you from being able to provide financial reports to the public and to the Democrat Party? Katie, do you know what you have accused my staff of doing is a crime?
I am well aware of that. So is deleting all of your emails.
Have you
Mr. Berry.
contacted?
All of your emails are
Let me
record.
try to bring this to a point of order here, because I don't think it's appropriate to have this exchange.
Oh, I think it's
That's-
very
that's-
appropriate, Mayor. I
No,
think
it's
it's
not.
very appropriate.
No, it's not. And
Because
I
you're
can-
in on it too.
In on it too.
Let me just say that I think the context of this, Rick, was responding to a public records request. And I know that that is underway and the information is being compiled, and I think I just saw the FOIA form today. This was actually just a few days ago itself. So the city is going to be providing the public records information.
Well, just so the public
that-
knows,
that was requested by Sue Patterson.
these actions they're accusing my staff of doing is almost 2 years ago. I don't know what you pay Reedy. I don't know how many thousands and thousands of dollars you paid Reedy to come in and try to straighten things out. And it's almost 2 years ago, and you still can't provide a financial report to the Democrat Party
That's
and
not true.
others.
That's not true. That is not true. We just went through 2 audits in the course of the last, 14 months.
Yes.
Our financial statements are readily available. They're online. So is all of our budget information. The budget book has been here for anybody to view since September the 9th. Rick?
Why
I
would
know
you,
you're
why
bitter,
would, no, wait, Mayor.
But we are
wait,
able
I'm
to
up here.
comply with this
why would
Public
you?
request, point of order, I'm sorry. This does no good to have this type of exchange at the city council
I
meeting.
think this exchange in front of the public is a very good thing.
What I'm saying is that we have a public records request. I saw the form today. The matter that you're bringing up today, I think that you guys should discuss it later. Today, we're dealing with the budget and the other items, and we did receive a public records request from, I believe it was Sue Patterson, and we will fully intend to provide all the information. Majority of it is also available online, like our audits are.
Did anybody contact the ladies in my office after they left with these accusations? To maybe get a first-hand account of maybe what happened? Or did you just jump to a conclusion that a crime was committed?
No, we did not jump to a conclusion.
Maybe Mike there, if you don't mind, Kate. I think it was pretty clear there was animosity upon yours and their departures, and
Sure there
the
was.
communication was not very good, so.
And they did delete all their emails. We had them recovered through Microdome. He came in and recovered them all.
Well, Katie, you were accusing them of doing things while they were still working here, and you were working your other job for 2 months and weren't here, and accused them of doing things they weren't doing.
Actually, it wasn't
So they
2 months,
quit, and
Rick.
I don't know how many other people have quit since you've been here. So maybe you better look inside yourself and figure out what you're doing wrong.
Really.
Yes, really.
Let's,
I'm done, Mayor. I've said my piece. I think the public needs to know. They've accused my staff of a crime they didn't commit. And Clerk Treasurer Rampy, I think you should resign. And Bob, if you're behind this too, I think you should resign too. Thank you.
Well, I fully intend to continue serving the city of Madison for the rest of this year and for the next 4 years.
Great.
Yeah. We're still in the public comment period. If anybody would like to address the mayor's office and city council, invite you to do that. Please give your name and address and make your statement, please.
You can wait a minute, Julie, I'm old. Y'all, I'm back at it again about the blight and stuff around my house. Today, I guess it was today or the middle of the night, I don't know. They posted a big old historical sign next to me with the house of a man that helped with runaway slavery and all of that. The sign is huge, and it's on the corner blocking my Bob Courtney signs. But anyway, I caught that. But anyway, I met Tyree Jenkins the other day. She's the second house over with the blight. And saw her out in the street. I asked her if she was Tyree Jenkins. She says yes. I said, I was wondering if you know when you're going to do anything with this house, your house here. Because it's sat there for years, y'all. There's no floors in it. There's nothing. It's a shell. And then she took off the back of it, and it's a mess. So she just said, I'm with someone right now. Keeps walking. I said, well, you can't tell me anything about this house? Because it's the first time I've met her. And you all know I've been going on and on and on about it. And she goes, it's none of your business. And I thought, it is my business because I live next door there, y'all. It's still dangerous. It's still ugly. It takes away the value of my property and everyone around us. This woman absolutely does not think she has to abide by any kind of rules.
Debbie, I'm going to stop you right there. Just a point of order. Let's keep it as a matter of fact. You're concerned about
That's
the
a
blight on your street.
Yeah.
We've been working on correcting that on many, many properties. Lots of investment. That's a targeted revitalization zone. We do not, manage the day-to-day construction staff, so the people who are having work there.
I know.
And I know we've had multiple conversations about this. It takes time.
I'm speaking, so I want the council to keep updated on this. So when I'm back up here in 2 years saying the same thing, I need help. I need support from this council. And I know you guys your districts are all over and you all have plenty of stuff to deal with. But I just want you to be aware that this is still going on for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. I know that it's blight in any neighborhood causes all types of problems. And you particularly experienced the worst of the problems, which was a murder next door. And I'm sorry for that. And that Chief Wallace and his team solved that quickly. And then ever since then, we've been working very hard to eradicate blight all across our community. And it's a bigger problem than anybody really realized until we started placing focus on it. And that's why earlier with the proclamation that I read, recognizing Dewey's work, just in 18 months, he's been involved in almost 700 cases and growing. We also did, an evaluation. We have over 100 unsafe properties in our community. The problem and the magnitude of the problem is significant, but we are attacking it every day, and it's a high priority.
Did I miss her
Ma-
name and her
I'm sorry.
address?
Yeah, Debbie Beeman. She lives on I want to repeat that for the record for Marcia. Debbie Beeman, and what's your address, Debbie? 709 Walnut. Debbie Beeman.
Third time's a charm. I got up here. I'm Julie Patterson. I'm at 714 Walnut. Deb is my neighbor. I was able to watch, I think it was the last meeting on the YouTube channel, which took me a minute to figure out, but I figured it out. And I know transparency was one of the issues that was brought up, and I had a few ideas about maybe some things, easy, quick things that could happen to make transparency even more than it is now. So one thing I was thinking about I know you guys have been working on the website, but I do think that's a place where you could maybe put a direct link to the YouTube site. Or I was also thinking with the Facebook page, so I'm thinking about how Madison does it at their school corporation. Right when the meeting starts, I don't know if they do it on Facebook Live or if they do a link to their Facebook or to their YouTube channel, but they post it on Facebook right away. I was thinking the more things you could put on the website, the less work it would be for somebody. So I know Ms. Detillo, you talked about you could always come and talk to your council person or come down here and look at things. But I think the more we're able to link to things on the website, the easier that it makes it for people who are working. And I do a lot of my investigating and looking into things in the evening or after City Hall hours, so that would be something that would be potential. For city council meetings, I was thinking that paper copies of the resolutions that are being read, or maybe making use of the screens for the resolutions. It's hard for me when Mr. Jenner is reading to pay attention to that. So if there was a way to have that in paper version, or again, up on the screen so we can all see it and attend to it as well. I know that helps some people be able to think about things. I did want to ask though, Mayor, you said there's financial records available, and I have not been able to find financial records past February 2022 on the website. And I went again today and looked because I knew I was going to ask about it today. There's actually several pages where it says there's going to be budget reports, and I can't remember what the name of the other one is, but there's definitely claims, and the last claim was from February 2022, and then budget reports and one other maybe quarterly reports, and it says this will be updated on X, Y, and Z, and it has not actually been updated, not that I could find when I was looking. So that might be something.
Just to clarify there, all of our board packages and agendas, which include the minutes from the prior meeting, are posted online ahead of the meeting.
Yes, I found
You're right,
that
it would be
agenda.
helpful. We've talked about, and I think this was Councilwoman Krebs' idea too, about putting the item of discussion up on the screen. We just have to have an operator to be doing those things while we're
Yes.
having the meeting. We don't have an AV person, so we're figuring out how to do that with the staff person. And then what I referred to at the last meeting was in response to Sue Patterson's request for the detailed budget. And what I said there was the detailed budget was available in two places.
Yeah.
It was available in City Hall. It was posted to the notice to taxpayers that the budget had been provided and was going to be discussed, and then the detailed package had been in City Hall for review for anybody that wanted to review that. We've worked a lot on our website. There are a lot of links, particularly a lot of people ask about the number of projects that we do across town. So there's a really great project page there that shows where everything's happening on the downtown, on the hilltop, and then you can click and get a lot of information about the particular project. So there's lots of information out there, but
Sure.
always room for improvement.
I did see the agenda, and so I got to read over the minutes from last meeting and stuff, but maybe this is a Miss Rampy question, because under where it talks about claims, which I don't fully 100% claim to understand, but I know, full disclosure, my mom is Sue Patterson, so I'm helping her navigate things as well as somebody working on her campaign. We've been looking for those things, and those aren't available. Would you be the person that would be updating that, or is that somebody else in City Hall that would update that?
Mike, please. Yeah. Thank you.
Be our community, our
Communications.
individual communications
And I'll-
individual.
And I'll pivot off that too, which is, once we updated our website, we really didn't start putting, the monthly fund and appropriations reports on there. I don't believe anybody else does here in our community, but everything's available upon request, or if council needs something, you can reach out to a council person too, or if you need something in particular, you can. But we provide a lot of information, and candidly, not a lot of people ask for a fund and appropriation report, but if you ever need one, please let us know. We'll get it to you.
And I think that was included in what Mom was asking for earlier today. I did have another question about campaigning that I was curious about, and maybe you know who to direct me to. You just said on public record you hope for 4 more years. Is that allowed while you're acting as our current mayor right now? And like when you're posting on your Facebook page, is that allowed during City Hall hours?
That's my personal Facebook page.
Oh, I thought that was your campaign page, because I thought there was a
It's
separate
my
Bob.
personal page, and they can be anything I want it to be, candidly.
Oh, okay.
I can do whatever I need to do throughout the course of the day. So I don't
Okay.
have a defined parameters like a typical employee would be, because I'm an elected official. And yes, I'm pretty sure I can say I'm going to be here for another 4 years.
Okay, I just was curious.
Thank
I
you for
didn't know
asking.
if that was a thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Patterson, first of all, thank you for your comments and suggestions. I am the person that asked for them to put the things, because I know it's hard. You're reading a legal document, and it's hard to follow even sometimes when I have it in front of me. So thank you for your suggestions. I just wanted to make a statement today because, there have been a lot of stressful accusations thrown at us during this budget process. And when my 81-year-old mother comes to me with a question because she's read something on social media, then I feel like it's time to say something. I just want to, I've learned a lot in my 2 years here. And I think the mayor and some other people last meeting tried to explain there are lots and lots of checks and balances in city government. And just like if I would go as a person and apply for $1 million house, the bank would say to me, "I'm sorry, Mrs. Krebs, you don't qualify for that." And that's the same kind of checks and balances we have in city government. When we were ready to do the water upgrades and we go to apply for a multi-million-dollar loan to do this, if we didn't qualify and couldn't show the way we can pay off that mortgage, then we wouldn't be allowed to borrow that money. So in exchange for that, we did a rate study, and we had to raise the water rates, yes we did, to pay that mortgage to be able to do the work to our waters and sewers. And if they would not, the state would not allow us, the mortgage company would not allow us to borrow money that we cannot prove that we have the means to pay it back. And I've kind of taken a little bit personal being on city council that, one of my teammates would accuse us of like basically putting our city at jeopardy. I mean, we would never do that. And, like the mayor doesn't even get to vote on those decisions. Sure, he can make recommendations, absolutely. And he can bring us facts, but he doesn't vote. That's us. And we would never put our city in jeopardy financially. We have a very healthy checkbook. of more than $10 million. I mean, we are in very good shape, and I'm sorry that you have been led to believe that we are not. And just like when we had our state board of audit, I was present at those meetings as city council president, and although a lot of it was over my head, I did ask a lot of questions during those meetings. And in my career, when I would have an evaluation, I would always have areas of improvement, areas that I could do better. And that's exactly what the State Board of Audits did for us. Yes, we had some infractions, most of which were fixed and corrected while they were here for the 2 weeks doing it. And we're always going to have areas where we need to improve. And one of the things that we got a hand slap on was the putting things in a timely manner, entering like we need to get our numbers in more quickly and under deadlines. And we did get a hand slap for that, but that was very minor. Okay, and for people also to make accusations that, we had so many infractions, I would challenge anyone in this room to find a state board audit that didn't have an infraction. I mean, that does not exist. There are always areas that we can improve. And did we have a few? Yes, but it was nothing that jeopardized us financially. So I would just beg you to do research, to go in and find, like with our water company, if you have a municipal water company, you're not allowed to make money. You can either break even, but you can't make or lose money. And if you can't prove that over a course of time, the state will come in, take your water company away from you, and make you do a state mandated company, which I guarantee you our rates would double or triple overnight if someone else was in control of our water. So I just would encourage you to please not believe everything that you read, and to please seek the actual answers and facts when it comes to some of those statements.
But that's why I think the more you can have on the website, the better, because then I don't have to go and ask somebody or go ask here or ask my mom to explain it to me.
And I totally
You know
agree
what
with
I'm
you.
saying? Like,
Yes.
I think that's what happens as an educator. If I'm not explaining things to my kids and showing them and being transparent, then they have questions and they kind of make up their own narrative. So for you guys to be super transparent, which I'm hearing you say you want, and I believe you because I believe the best in people, then it needs to be out there in an easy way, not just come to City Hall. It needs to be there, especially when it has been in the past. I think that's what's hard. Just go look right now, pull out your phones. The last reports are from 2022. And so then it's like, what happened? Maybe there needs to be an announcement on the website that says, we've decided not to do those. Here's the place to come. That's just another way to educate the public. And I think that's one of the jobs that you guys have.
And I agree with you, and I appreciate your input.
Thank you.
I do. And I do believe that there are lots of ways we can improve our website. And thank you for pointing it out. And thank you for listening to me.
And specifically on the website, I mean, in my time on city council, the mayor and Mindy will be the first to say that I've been in their ear the entire time. Coming from private industry, from working in automotive, we use a lot of tech. The city doesn't have that today. It's getting better. Mindy's been working on that for a long time, and I see improvements month to month. We can do remote meetings better. We have better audio visual. It is a slow process sometimes. I encourage the mayor and Mindy to continue, and Hannah to continue working on that and get better, whether it's the financial statements or the links to the different channels, social media channels, but it is a work in progress, and I think they freely admit that our city is behind the times in some of the IS infrastructure.
Significantly.
And is working to make that better, so I hope that continues.
Yes.
Mike Greco, 1106 East Street. Now, I'm not ignorant, but I am pretty stupid. I'm not the sharpest crayon, and I see there's a lot of others just like me in this room. If I understand it right, if I want to find out anything about the budget, if I wasn't so lazy and wanted to be spoon-fed, I could go down to... Excuse me, I'm talking. Excuse me, I'm talking. I could go down to the city hall and I could look up and find the information. If I wanted to know about appropriations and other things from Ms. Rampy, I could come here and I could dig out this information. If I need to know something from the council, I could come to the council. Not that I could just sit behind a computer and not find the information and get upset about it. The information is available. Is that correct?
Yes, and I also want to make one point, Mike, too, which is we're still recovering candidly from the walkout of the prior clerk's office. And we're also trying to recover from significantly deferred investment in technology and systems and Wi-Fi speeds and computer modernization, for example. But we're also doing all that while we're trying to build the staff, train the staff. And as we get that part done and we kind of get over this huge curve that we're in right now because of, Katie coming in, and thank God she did, in February of 2022. She's the heroine of all this story, candidly, because of all the work that has had to be done to make corrections and also have the city survive and thrive with all we have going on. It's an enormous job in being in the clerk treasurer's office. It's an enormous responsibility. But there's a lag. We don't have enough resources. We don't have enough trained resources, but we're getting better, and we're constantly striving to improve. But we will get there. And anything that anybody wants is available. It may not be posted at your fingertips, but it is there. And some of the information, candidly, needs context. There's a story behind everything. One of the things that I think people don't understand is our general fund always goes negative because of the way we appropriate and spend money and the twice a year collections that we get from property taxes. But we're trying to smooth out that cash flow management with more tax settlements with the auditor's office. They've been great about that. Better management. This budget here that we just approved tonight, when you really start going through the adjustments, it's $1 million less in appropriations than last year. We've been very conservative on our spending. We've done enormous amounts of investments. We're improving this city at every turn of the corner. And we're doing it all without raising property tax rates. That's a win, win, and a win for the residents of the city of Madison. And we're getting better. We want all the information to be out there. We are very transparent. If there's something you can't find immediately, we're not very far away to ask for the information, and everybody here wants to help and do the best that we can. They're really working hard for the city.
Well, thank you. You made me feel smarter already.
Thank you, Mike.
Mr. Greco, I will say though, like what Ms. Patterson says about I find the website extremely hard to use. I go round and round with Hannah about this all the time, that it shouldn't take me 30 minutes to find something. It's there, but why does it take me 30 minutes to find it? And I think her point is just make it easier to maneuver the website to be able to find this information that you say is on there. I mean, I have to agree with her. I'm sorry I took your time.
Randy Bellamy, 409 East 3rd Street. And I have just one comment. I think that your comment about 4 more years was unnecessary and inflammatory, and I do not appreciate it.
Thank you for your comment. We're still in the public comment period. Anybody else like to make a statement to the mayor or the council's office?
Hello, my name's Derek Hughes. I live at 411 Jefferson Street, Apartment B, and I'll be up front here. I am running against Mr. Tevenall for City Council District 1. I just had a quick question. So, a few weeks back, I went into the City Hall here to ask for a copy of the flood report because apparently the Army Corps of Engineers had reported on the flood that happened over on Walnut Street, both from 2 years ago and 7 years ago, if I'm remembering correctly. I was informed I can get it, but I have to pay $1 per page, and it's a 500-page report. Is that standard practice for every document, or is it specifically because it's the Army Corps of Engineers?
It shouldn't have been $1 a page. I think it's 10 cents, but our policy is we don't charge anything for public records requests. So my apologies if you were given misinformation. We'll make a copy for you.
Much appreciated, sir. That's all I had to ask. Thank you.
I'm John Hutchinson. I live at 223 West Hutchinson Lane. Our property line and the city coincide. There's a couple things. One, I did go to the gateway, and I find the statement that the information has not been submitted, and it's been that way for a long time. The second thing, I was at the election board meeting the other day, and about 6 weeks ago, they established what the time was going to be for the early voting. The reason that they made it a short period was the fact that they were concerned about the expense of running the election and wanted to keep it as cheap as possible. Now, we've added 11 days, and I hope everybody understands that they have more opportunities to vote and that they do come out and vote. And those are the two things that I was concerned about.
Thanks, sir. Hope everybody goes and votes too. Anybody else here would like to make a public statement? Thought you were in Tennessee.
I was over the weekend.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Erin Thomas from Lifetime Resources. I just wanted to clarify whether or not there was anything you were able to add in the budget for Lifetime or not. I heard that you guys, adopted the budget unanimously, but I didn't know if that means from like a highline item, or whether there was any change within that.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
We agreed there were no changes made to the budget, correct?
But we agreed that there would be a $10,000, that we would find it somewhere for Lifetime.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for providing the information that we had asked for on the services provided to our community. Anybody else? All right, moving on. It's one of my favorite parts of the meeting, and in addition to the public comments, is giving you an update on quite a few things that are happening around town. I do want to mention that last week we had a very good meeting with the Indiana Department of Transportation about the East End traffic and speeding issues there. They are working very collaboratively with us in identifying traffic calming meetings that we had or calming measures that we had talked about at the town hall meeting we had at the firehouse. So we'll be working on more information for the community and engineering to bring that to light. You'll hopefully have been watching the webcam for Crystal Beach. Progress is happening very quickly down there. Lots of concrete being poured, and it's taking shape. So we're super excited that as we approach the spring of next year, we'll also be finalizing construction on Crystal Beach. Also, you'll see around town a couple of new signs. Look for groundbreaking soon on the new neighborhood market, as well as the park along Vaughn Drive and Poplar, currently kind of known as the HMI lot. It's a parking lot with lots of green space, but it's going to be very beautiful. There's a lot of Parks Department events happening throughout the course of the month. Keep that in mind. The next time we meet will be November the 8th, but there's a lot of activities happening across the community through the balance of October. Things that we're sponsoring as well as other sponsors, including Mad Hop, which will be November the 4th, and City of Madison will again be a venue. And also the library, Jefferson County Library, which does a phenomenal job for our community. This is actually National Friends of Library Week, so I want to recognize all the work that Judy and her team do there for our community. And I'll pause there just to enjoy the fall, and particularly the Halloween in October here. Soup Chili Brew was great. Lots of visitors there, but lots of great things happening across the community. And I appreciate everybody's questions and comments tonight.
One quick question. Have we set trick-or-treat hours yet?
Believe we did. It'll be on Halloween, and normally it's 6 to 8. 6 to 8.
Thank you.
Yes, we've gone from soupy to spooky. I had to throw that one in there. I know. I have a lot of dad ones. But, lots going on, and council, I'll turn it over to you, floor to you all, if you have any comments or questions for our meeting. If not, our next meeting will be November the 8th.
Before we adjourn, I need each of you to stick around. You have to sign the budget.
Okay, I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thanks everyone for being here.
Julie Patterson.